Good day to you. This is Anagalactic on the 29th day of November, getting very close to December. When I learned the term that Dr. Physics A had to show me in order to show Einstein's field equation an easy task, that's not what cakewalk means. So we're going to cover both sides of the fence here with two very simple, straightforward definitions. The first of which is simply the clear and obvious term, parallel transport. The point does not exist, not because it is the center of any number of lines, but because it is the center of a circle. Think about that and sleep on it. By this simple adjustment, two results are implied. Firstly, the point is parameterized as one circular number. We shall define that presently. Secondly, this circular number must be a two-component number composed upon two linear numbers. You know that from listening to the last three videos. This turns out to be the circular binary number system, which I discovered. That is not in Wikipedia. I discovered the circular binary number system. It is not binary, because Wikipedia has an asinine definition of binary. It's a stupid, although applicable in some areas, definition of binary numbers. The binary numbers as defined in Wikipedia and everywhere else is not the true binary number system. The true binary number system is my reduced binary number system, which is purely and simply the exponential line from 0. These are the natural numbers plus 0. They're actually whole numbers, but they're not the actual numbers in the set. They're the power numbers on the power line. And that has 0 at the center for the base 2 system, whereby 0 is the lowest power of 2. And so the lowest number in the system is 1, because the most beautiful of all the equations ever invented by man, it's not E equals mc squared, which I will correct because that's wrong. It's not the Einstein field equation, which is also wrong, and I have corrected that. And it's not e to the I pi power equals -1. That also is absurd, and I've corrected that. Actually, I'm just about to correct it. I haven't published that yet. But the most beautiful equation, by far, is 2 to the 0th power equals 1. And those are the three original numbers, where 0 is in the correct position to define 1 on 2. And that makes 0 the power center. And when you have 2 to the 0th power, you have a brand new geometry with a non-Euclidean point, which is not Euclidean because it has a surface. And that's the quantum. Let me go on. Secondly, this circular number must be a two-component number composed upon two linear numbers. This turns out to be the circular binary number system, CBNS, which no longer metricizes upon add, which uses two linear orthogonally related numbers, as you know, on the stupidly named Pythagorean theorem. The psychosis goes all the way down. It's turtles all the way down of psychotic turtles, actually psychotic humans, which is no longer metricized upon add, which uses two linear orthogonally related numbers on the right angle law, which is what that is. It's actually the linear right angle law, because there's a new orthogonality that I discovered in circular space, which is the universe's right angle law. There is a right angle in circular and spherical space. I discovered that. So it uses add in the old system, which uses two linear orthogonally related numbers. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. That is crazy. That is ridiculous. You're adding two squares to make another square. That's why everything has gone psychotic. Instead, the true number system is metricized upon the integral of two linear numbers, which is the calculus. So I have correctly defined the calculus for the very first time, and that leaves Newton and Leibniz, who gets honorable mention, in the dust. They're dead now, and you'll never use the calculus again the way they defined it. From now on, all science is required to use calculus according to my definition, and the calculus will be named after me. Not Newton, not Leibniz. It's my discovery. I discovered the calculus. The metric of the line is linear spatial separation. The metric of the circle is complexified in the sense of the complex number plane, the complex number system, and complex conjugality. That's shit! That redefines the Cartesian plane on two separate metrics, one of which is imaginary. I know the meaning behind that, and that destroys the complex number system because I've integrated it. So I discovered the complex numbers. It's mine now. Now there are two lines on a new definition of a closed line. This is the simplest case of curvature, which I have finally defined correctly for the advantage of all science. The rate between two linear aspects, the y and the x, is unitized on two quantities in two domains. You will come to see that that is space and time. So time is included. And we're going to get to light speed, and we're going to go much further than that, into the quantum realm, where you're going to see the quantum for the first time in human history. Our challenge now is to recognize that the parameterization of circular space is nonlinear. This has two immediate implications, and this is where it gets so complex, you'll never catch up. You'll never understand what I'm saying. I'm going to make it so plain to you that you won't be able to not understand it. Don't forget, you've been brainwashed since the first grade to become a psychotic mathematician. That's redundant. Now there are two lines on a new definition of a closed line. That is called a circle, and that conjugates to a sphere. And I'll show you that. In this simplest case of curvature, the rate between the two linear aspects is unitized on two quantities in two domains, space and time. I will then show you that in spherical space, it's not space and time. It's space and energy. And energy has two derivatives, one of which is time, and that directly addresses wavelength and frequency, solving the problem of circular measurement. Our challenge now is to recognize that the parameterization of circular space is nonlinear. This has two immediate implications. First of all, the circle is closed on unitized rate. That's the calculus derivative. It is unitized in two domains, which are conjugal. That's space and time. This observation introduces a novel complexification, which is where you're going to be left behind. I will drag you, which begins with the observation that the circularized plane has two metrics, killing complexity, killing it, absorbing it. The first metric, eating it. The first metric is that of the surface, which is the new line in its primary aspect. However, the existence of this new line leaves undefined the linear metric in this new subspace. In the new subspace, which is created under circularity, which under Euclid's axiomatization was a single component number, but which under the AE axiomatization must be a two-component number. That is a binary number. This means that there is another line besides the circle. There is. It's called the force balance. To describe this line, conveniently, we may enlist the use of a current term which has a most interesting name. It is called parallel transport. The Wikipedia article on parallel transport is an exercise in the problems with calculus as an approach to curvature. In fact, this approach, legalized by consensus, always yields a fractalization of logic. The exercise forced by the quite typical Wikipedia definition establishes a case example of a monstrous paradigm. This is so ugly and so profound that this paradigm deserves a separate treatment: calculus fractality. Thank you. I will be elaborating on that, and now you must tune in or you will be left behind forever. Now, in the case of cakewalk, if you do a simple lookup in any search engine, you will find this out. Cakewalk is related to the phrases, "it's a piece of cake," and "that takes the cake." That takes the cake. It's a piece of cake. That's going to be a cakewalk. All of these are racism terms. All of these expressions arose from slaveholder racism. In other words, whenever you use these expressions, you are saying, and I'm not allowed to say the word because Big Brother will exorcise me. That is, cast me out. I can't say the word because Satan, your government, forbids me from talking or using words that it's actually in Mark Twain's book. But I can't say it because of political correctness. So instead of saying Niger, which I am not allowed to say, okay, I'm going to use another term. And I'm not going to say the N-word because I don't like that stupid term. So I'm going to say, let me think, jogger. Jogger. That sounds like it, doesn't it? It just changes the first two letters. So whenever you are saying cakewalk, you're saying jogger. And so the jogger cake was awarded to the best dancing jogger. That jogger takes the jogger cake. And that jogger gets or is a piece of jogger cake. And the best jogger walk gets the jogger cake. Thank you very much for your patience. That's 20 minutes of the most important information you will ever hear in your life, unless you listen further to me. I'm the Imam. I'm the leader. I'm the genius. I'm the Nobel Prize winner. I'm the PhD. I'm the king. I'm the man. Nobody else can touch this. Stay tuned and keep looking up. Thank you very much for your patience with my rather amazing display of verve. We'll be right back. Thank you.